And welcome back to the second half hour of the Factor Uncensored. How can we define bad sportsmanship these days? We ask after a shooting during a children's baseball game over the weekend. It's not clear exactly what happened in that case, but according to reports, someone began firing a gun at a baseball USA game on Saturday. 6- and 7-year-olds forced to stop their game and run and hide. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it was still undoubtedly a frightening situation for the kids and parents involved. Joining me now to talk about it, we have the sports director of Spike Sport Volleyball Club, Nushin Rudgari, and parent Roman McPherson. Glad to have you here both on the Factor Uncensored. It's got to be a nightmare when you have a catastrophe like that happen at your event. And number one, you're trying to protect the children, you're trying to protect the parents as well.
Well, thank God that's never happened at one of our events, but I mean, my son played baseball for years, and I can tell you that it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have fear walking to your car after a game or while the kids are playing. But I think one of the biggest things is for refs and umps. I mean, if you make a bad call, is something going to happen to you after the game? It's, you know, kids are now becoming umps, refs, and that's scary for them too.
And for parents out there, are you bothered by what you see at these games now?
Absolutely. You know, there was an incident just 2 weekends ago where an umpire made a critical call at first base. It ended the game, and as he's walking to his car, he began to have some of the parents follow him, kick him, hit him, jump on him, and this is in front of the kids. And this is baseball. See, I grew up playing football, and I never thought baseball could be this bad, but it gets a little crazy out there.
And when you have parents who are involved in the melees, in the fights, and being belligerent at the games, what is that like? Obviously, you're not seeing that right now,
yeah.
But as someone who is in the industry, what is it like to have a parent go wrong?
I mean, you know, the problem that you have is it's embarrassing for the kids. It's a problem that the facility or the organization, how do you deal with it? Because you do have parents that's a bad call, ref, that's a bad call, ump, and you have to say, what are you going to do about it? Because those parents are probably doing it, you know, at another facility, at another game. And so I think with situations like that, you have to nip it in the bud some kind of way. With what, like he was talking about, if it's in a parking lot, maybe you don't see it. But like in a facility, for us, so we find out what team are they with, we find out who the coach is, and the coach has to address that parent. And at a volleyball game, that's you don't get to come back, or your team gets forfeited, or you've got to go type of deal.
And what if there are recruiters out there that may be looking at a kid either for college, for high school, for whatever, the next level, and they see that child's parent behaving like that? What will that do to the child and his prospects in the future?
I think the parents are so busy worried about how the kid's playing, and they don't realize that they're looking at the parents. They're also looking at how do they act, do they cause chaos, is it going to be a problem for the university? 100%, if they see that action, they don't want that at their school. They're going to be like, you know what, that kid's a great athlete or whatever the situation is, but we can't have that at our school. And it highly is a problem for, you know, these poor kids who are trying to go to college. I don't know, I wouldn't say that all these kids are the cause, but the parents can be the cause of a kid not going to college.
And are parents concerned, do they even take that into consideration, that all eyes may not only be on their child, but on them too in the stands?
Sometimes it does. For example, our team, shout out to Premier Nationals, we play in a tournament in North Carolina with the USA Trials. And they'll tell you that when they go up there, they've got scouts everywhere. And this is for 12, 13-year-olds. They start recording you from the time you leave the parking lot. They don't want the parents talking to the kids. They don't want you going near the dugout. They don't want you making any excessive noise or anything like that, because they'll just automatically mark your child off. Yep, he can't go to Taiwan with us. Parents are too crazy. You know, so it can be pretty intense. And so that's something that probably needs to go on a little bit more regularly. Especially in a game like baseball, which is supposed to be a gentleman in a gentlewoman's sport. But it does get crazy.
And what would be your best advice for parents out there, and of course those who act wild? It may not always be parents.
Well, I
in the
would
last
say,
30 seconds.
Right. Okay. I would say, to wrap it up, the coaches, like he just said, they need to be watching the parents. And if the parents can't act right, they shouldn't be allowed on this team, club, whatever it is. Parents, think about your children, not just, you know, your actions. It turns on the kids, and the kids have to deal with it. It's not fair. It's not fair for the whole team, game, the whole everything. Anybody around, family watching, coaches. I mean,
sometimes the parents try to live vicariously through their kids.
That's
Absolutely.
true.
Thank you guys. Out of time. We'll be back.